Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name's Holly and this is Holly's Happy Home. Today we are doing another large garden tour as well as some bonus stuff. We're going to be doing some harvesting. We're going to look at some of the projects that I've been working on around here. We're going to walk around our raised bed garden just a bit, not a full tour, but just to get some harvesting from there as well. And I will also be taking you a little bit through our little growing orchard that we have. It is already super hot here in Florida. I'm trying to catch this video here in the morning, but it's already well into the 80s. One of our big projects we've been working on is putting up these shade cloths, which are going to be a huge help now that the daytime temperatures are in the 90s. But I can't wait to show you everything that's going on. So since we're fresh on the subject, our shade cloth up here is two 20 by 30 foot runs. My husband installed these 4x4 severe weather treated wood poles, put some eye hooks on the top, and I painted them this lovely green. And then we ran wire between each of the poles and then crisscrossed for support. There's a support pole 15 foot down, and this is 40% UV shade cloth. I did 40% last year, and it made the biggest difference on my garden. I really think it saved my garden. So this year, it wasn't even a question. Once the temperatures started getting in the 90s during the day, the shade cloth was going up. My dad came yesterday and helped me install the shade cloths. I'm very grateful for his help and my husband's for putting this up. So now the garden can thrive even in this crazy heat we have here in Florida. Our calendula over here is blooming so beautifully. I know this can be used for herbal things, but I haven't brought myself to pick the flowers yet to use for that because I'm just really enjoying the pop of color in the garden. Our okra is all thriving in this heat and has actually started to put on okra. So there'll be a couple ready to pick here in a few days. Not quite yet. As you can see, the grass is also thriving in the heat. I've come through here and picked the grass out quite a few times now. It is a huge job, and I just need to pencil that in for another day. It just hasn't happened yet. Our green zucchini is still holding in strong. Look at this bad boy. Florida is notoriously hard for growing squash. At least it has been for me because of the bug pressure. So far, all of my plants are making it. I have a few that aren't looking very good, but this one definitely is. And we have a zucchini in there to come back and grab later. I'm not going to harvest as I go, as I mentioned. I just tried to do a little video with that and didn't even make it to harvesting. It's too hard to video and set it up and everything and walk through. So I'm just going to walk around and show y'all first and then come back to harvest. This is the Zephyr squash, the yellow squash. It's also looking very good. And I briefly mentioned in another video, I've been spraying these with BT weekly. It's an organic spray that kills caterpillars and worms. So when the squash vine borer lays their eggs on these, they hatch, they eat into the BT, and they die. So far, it's been very effective. Our peppers are all doing really good. These are the Aji Cachucha. So far, still don't see. Oh, there is some little fruits down in there. They're really little though. Those are really slow to grow. Asters still aren't thriving through here, which they are fighting with the grass. But look at these zinnias that we put in to replace the Ford Hook lima beans. Zinnias never disappoint. So pretty. Our tomatoes are kicking butt. I'm so proud of these tomatoes. There are probably hundreds of tomatoes between all these plants. Can y'all see them all through there? Holy moly, when they start ripening. The loofah is kind of slow to grow. I know that in general it's a little bit slow, but we haven't even reached the trellis yet. So I have to keep an eye on it so it doesn't grab onto the tomatoes instead of the trellis. some beans. We're going to be coming back and getting some of these later because these have beans all over them. The straw flowers, it looks like we're about to have some straw flowers coming in. I've never grown these before. They're going to be absolutely gorgeous. That one's starting to open up a little bit. Did y'all see all those ants? Look at this. The ants are wild. They've kind of dug up the bottom of that one. All of our peppers are absolutely loaded. Send pepper recipes. We're going to be having peppers every different way. Oh, I got to kind of pull off here. Look at this passion fruit flower. This is a purple passion fruit that we've got going here. And the flowers are just so gorgeous. The one patty pan squash that I debated pulling up because it's not thriving, it did give me 2 patty pan squash, and it does have some little ones on it, but it's just not doing super well. Just goes to show if your plant may be struggling to begin with and you're questioning, should I pull it up and start over? It might be a better idea than trying to wait and see if it comes back. This patty pan, though, has given me so many. And they started to slow down when it started to get hot. All the squash did. But it has really been big producers. The lemon squash, I've gotten so many lemon squash. I'm going to come back and harvest some of those with you today. See, there's a really good sized one down there. The tondo squash, this thing is massive. It's also slowed down with the heat. I see one right there. Can you see it right there? This one was also struggling. No, actually, that one's the one I came back with seed. So this one I came back and put in from seed. These had a 3-week head start on this one. And I guess that 3 weeks was what it needs. So this one looks like it's getting some sort of disease. Maybe the heat's getting to it. Not really sure what's going on with that one, but I've maybe gotten 2 squash off of it. Excuse me. Our basil is flowering. I'm going to pull that off so it keeps growing. When you trim off the top of your basil, you should look for a leaf node and then pick in the middle of those two. And then it'll keep branching out. And that's how you get really bushy basil. This is a birdhouse gourd. I'm not sure what the spots are on it, but it's a birdhouse gourd and it is growing well. So I think we'll get some birdhouse gourds. Guys, this is the most dramatic squash I've ever seen. This is the blue Hubbard squash, and I was originally growing it for a trap crop for the squash vine borer. It doesn't seem to have been much of a trap crop, but can we just admire the size of this squash? It looks like it's almost ready to pick. The skin is getting thick. You can't puncture it with your fingernail. The stem is starting to get brown and it's pretty hard. This is a very big squash. I can't tell you how heavy it is, but you can see I actually had to call my neighbor and say, hey, can you help me cut my squash out of the cage? I'm sure he thought I was a little bit crazy. I'm like, it's not a normal squash, I promise. The yarrow is about to start flowering. This is supposed to be fruit bowl yarrow. It's going to be a bunch of different colors, so I can't wait to see what colors we get. Look at these bell peppers, guys. My bell peppers last year were tiny, tiny, tiny. And this year, we have gotten some really good peppers going. This is the Chinese giant bell pepper. I think this will be my new favorite for the years to come. Don't see any peppers there. Got some peppers hanging in there. Some good jalapenos. There's so many jalapenos in all these plants. Look at the dahlias. These are the Dandy Improved dahlias. The bees are loving them, these little tiny bees. They're covered with little dahlias or dahlias. So bugs are just part of the garden. Everybody knows that. If you're using organic methods, you're gonna have bugs. But when I say aphids are an issue, I get the heebie-jeebies looking at all these aphids. Aphids attract ants because they feed on the sweet nectar. But look at all these aphids. It's absolutely disgusting. I've tried insecticidal soap. It's not working great. I'm gonna try and come back again with some more insecticidal soap, see if we can't get those under control. Jimmy Nardellos, they're doing good, and we actually have some Jimmy Nardellos. I've never tried these before, but I hear great things and I cannot wait. Butterfly pea, waiting for that to start climbing. Another row of tomatoes. Got to come through here and prune. These are San Marzano tomatoes. They're supposed to be an indeterminate variety of tomatoes. However, for some reason, it's acting more like a determinate variety. But they are absolutely loaded with tomatoes. I also have the San Marzano in that first row I just showed you. As soon as those ripen, I can't wait to harvest all these tomatoes with y'all. Look at that. Bee balm. It's starting to kind of spread. Still no flowers or signs of flowers. Sugar Rush Peach. And when I say the Sugar Rush Peach is loaded, y'all, I do mean loaded. I can't even show you all those peppers in there with a ton of flower set. This is going to be a very productive pepper. And I just wanted to mention, last year I didn't space my peppers very well and they did not grow very big. This year I gave them plenty of space. And look how big these plants are. If you give them space, they will grow and be more productive for you. So while everything, like last year I tried the square foot gardening method, I realized it was not for me. But when you give the plants space, they will grow and be more productive for you. More jalapenos. Holy moly at the jalapenos. We're finally getting some fish peppers. And look how pretty. They're variegated just like the foliage. Never did replace those 2 bee balms that died. Our marigolds are huge. They are, let's see, sorry, I'll turn you sideways. Almost to my hips. They're about to open and I cannot wait to see how big these are. These are supposed to be a very large marigold. You know how last year everyone talked about Peppergate, or maybe it was the year before, where all the pepper seeds got mixed up so everyone ended up with something other than what they bought? I think that's what happened to me with my butternut squash. It is still a butternut, but this is supposed to be a Walton butternut, and they're growing like a sweet nut butternut. So they're staying small. They're already starting to color. So I know they can't be Walton butternut unless there's something going on with them. Got lots of spaghetti squash in here, which is really exciting. I love spaghetti squash. Oh, might need to go to the other side so y'all aren't seeing my shadow. All right. Yeah, that's better. Our Mexican sunflowers are coming up good, and we have so many spaghetti squash hiding in here. It's like a big Easter egg hunt. It's so exciting. And our corn is doing really good. It's getting tall. And I don't see any corn cobs yet, but we do have the tassels at the top forming. Look at that big spaghetti squash in there. This is exactly what I wanted. When I planted this bed, my goal was to have the corn with the spaghetti squash going between the rows and it has just worked out perfect. It's so pretty. Forgot to mention our zinnias over here that we planted. I didn't think they were going to come up, and they are coming up now. See the little zinnia right there? They're just tiny. Do you see the flowers? They're absolutely tiny. They're so cute. But they're definitely not going to be a big row of flowers like I thought. And our sunflowers, you can see them all poking up. They are starting to surpass the grass. So we'll go get our basket and harvest the squash, zucchini, beans, and all that together. And then we'll move on to the orchard, the green stalks, the raised beds, all that fun stuff. It is hot, hot, hot. Whoa. Not a fan of the cold. I've been wishing for the hot. I'm glad it's here. But wow, it's hot. The first few days of extreme heat are always a lot. All right, first squash here for us. Turn you over here and we'll grab this zucchini. I know it still has a big flower on it, but listen, you wait one extra day with zucchini, it's almost too big to use. And for these, I just twist them off. That one broke. Normally it breaks close to the stem or on the stem, but I am processing these today, so I'm not worried about it being a little wonky. That's our basket so far. Moving on to the beans, and I am going to go grab my knee pad for this, and I'll be right back. Y'all just hang tight. All right, let's see if I could do this without getting eat up by ants, and I have officially got sweat rolling off me. I'm leaving the ones that are smaller and could still grow a little bit and grabbing the ones that are about the size of my hand. That's about the size that we like to eat them and store them. If you're new to growing beans, these are bush beans, so they stay this small size. They don't get big like needing a pole. They do produce less. So I think I was reading that a bush bean plant, each plant will produce about an average of a ½ pound of beans, and a pole bean will average about a pound of beans per plant. So if you are trying to grow a year's worth of food for your family, you know how much your family eats. Grow that many plants. So if you're looking for 20 pounds and you are using bush bean plants, you need 40 plants minimum if they're making a ½ pound each. So I hope that helps. You know, sometimes I hear people talk about the benefits of in-ground versus raised bed. And I will say one of the benefits for a raised bed versus in-ground is saving your back. This is a lot of work. My raised beds go to about right here, so then I don't have to bend over like that, and it's a lot less strain. I'm gonna move to the other side. All right, so that's it from these beans, and look how many we got. This is the second time I've harvested off these, so this is pretty good. There's still a ton more flowers and a lot more little beans. So we'll probably get 2 or 3 more harvests out of these, which is awesome. Here's our basket so far. Going to go grab some of these lemon squash. So it says on the package that you should harvest these when they are the size of a small to medium lemon. You let them get much bigger than that, it can tell the plant to stop producing. Look, there's a squash bug or a stink bug or whatever you want to call it, laying eggs right there. Literally watching it lay eggs. I will come back and pick those off, but that is unfortunate. Oop. Drop that one. That one's a good size. See, that one's almost too big. I don't have any tondo squash that I'd like to harvest right now. I'm gonna wait on those. Man, that breeze feels good. And I think that was it for this garden here. So we'll move on to our little fruit orchard, which I've actually never shown y'all. So we have a pineapple pear, a grapevine. Our grapevine has a lot of grape clusters on it. For being so young, I'm actually surprised. I'll have to come back through and put some bags on them so us and the birds don't fight to get the fruit. We have 2 apple trees of different kinds, an Anna apple and a Dorset apple, some dwarf bananas that are coming back from the winter, 2 blueberries back here. We also have 2 blueberries over on the other side of the yard, a Florida native wild plum, and I'm actually not sure what the one beside it in the little pot is. It's some sort of peach nectarine plum, and then a Myers lemon. Oop, I'm still off right there. We have a plum at the end, variegated lemon, a nectarine, grapefruit, pomegranate, and our peach. And we will be picking a peach today because it is ready. It's so pretty. It's starting to get soft. It smells so juicy. Let's see. Our first peach, and look how perfect it is. Wow. Oh man, that smells good. We've got one more. Only 2 made it through the frost. I covered this with frost fabric and everything. It had probably 100 peaches on it, but only 2 made it. That's the only thing we're going to pick out of our orchard today. We did have some blueberries, but the birds beat us to them. And our nectarine actually is suffering from some sort of disease. You can see one's splitting right there. They're getting spotted on the fruit. The leaves have holes in them. I need to do some troubleshooting because it looks really bad. I may just come through here and pick off all the fruit, trim off the ends of it, and let it restart. Might be what's best for it. Variegated lemon is loaded with lemons. My husband surprised me with this year. It's pink on the inside. I'll insert a picture. How pretty is that? And we don't have anything on our plum this year. We just bought this house in January of 2024, so last year. And all this is a new addition. So anything we're getting right now from these fruit trees is just a bonus. It was not expected. Our asparagus bed, I started all these asparagus from seed this year. And they are ferning out nicely. So in 3 years, if you're still here, we'll get some asparagus together. Better close up of our Meyer lemon. We did have one lemon growing. Let's see if it's still there. It is. That's cute. Just one. We've got our purple passion fruit, and as you can see, it's got a big trellis to grow on. It was only about 10 inches big when we put it in. A goji berry. We did get berries off this last year, even though it's not very big. And a mulberry. And now we'll go harvest in the raised beds. You can see we also did a shade cloth over here. One of those projects I mentioned was this green stalk, so that's put up now. I'm not going to do a whole tour because I can do that in a different video. Pretty butterfly. Oh, there it went. I scared it off. Came in too strong. All right, so we'll get some more lemon squash. Look at this one. Kind of crazy, huh? It's two growing from one. There's one over here like that too, actually. Two growing from one. You can see where it's connected. Be odd if one didn't get pollinated and the other did. Oh, sorry guys, this is some bad camera work. Try to do better. It's hard. I'm not good at juggling. And we actually have some tomatoes ready. These are going to be the first tomatoes I've picked for the season. I have been waiting for this. Y'all ready for it? Bum ba da dum. Yay. Some of them just have a slight blush, not fully red. And I've really been fighting the birds with these, so I'm going to take the ones that I can. Got some more over here. This is the Roselle cherry tomato variety, and it has a ton of tomatoes on it. First to ripen. Still putting on flower and fruit set, even though it's gotten hot. I'm very impressed with this variety, and it will be coming back to my garden next year. I'm going to move to the cucumbers. These are the gift I keep giving. I have 2 cucumber plants on each side and have picked loads of cucumbers. A little bit goes a long way on cucumber vines. Can you see? Kind of if I move the leaves. Alright, I'm going to try and move the leaves where you can see. This is Boston pickling. You pick them kind of small. If you let them get too big, they the vine will stop producing. And if you wait one extra day, like squash and zucchini, one extra day makes the difference of a normal sized cucumber and one that's just too big. Here's a good one. Oh my goodness. Look at this big one down here. That's a big one. Yay, pickles. I've recently started making some Old Bay, you know, like Old Bay, like the shrimp and crab boil pickles. I found the recipe online, and they are the best pickles I've ever had in my life. I've probably eaten them with every meal since I started making them. Got a good one right there. Owie. Got a good one right there. And right here. Here's our basket so far. We're getting very full. Got a great variety: beans, squash, cucumbers, a peach, some tomatoes. Basket is getting quite heavy. None of the other tomatoes are ready. Look at all this calendula, snapdragons. Let's see. I do want to grab a couple flowers, but I'm going to grab those right before I go in, or else they will get wilty. Need to pick some peas, and I definitely need to pick some beans. I'm not going to talk too much during these. Just wanted to show you. These are Roma 2 bush beans. All right, so I think that might be it. And wow, what a great harvest. Looks like the rest of my day is going to be spent preserving. Oh, that's not it. We've got a couple Everglades tomatoes down here to pick. I've been waiting for these. They are supposed to be super productive. They are covered in tomatoes. Aren't those adorable? This plant probably has 100 tomatoes on it, and they're going to be delicious. Whew, what a workout, and a lovely workout it has been indeed. It looks like I'm going to spend the rest of the day preserving all of our harvest, which I am so thankful for. And I'm thankful for you being here today. Of all the YouTube creators you could have chosen to watch, you decided to be here till the end. I don't know. Do y'all see that bee? Ah! No, don't land on me. All right, I think it's gone. Anyways, please like, subscribe. I will be posting more garden tours and future harvest videos, so I hope to see you there. Comment what you're growing this season. Let me know what your favorite thing to harvest and preserve is. Leave me questions. I love talking with y'all in the comments, and I look forward to seeing y'all here next time. Thank you so much, and happy gardening.